So for those involved in more advanced structuring in terms of wealth planning, tax planning, and so on, it's important to understand the network of European territories and dependencies. So this is the first in a series of videos where we'll take a deeper dive into European dependencies and territories around the world. All right. So as we take a deeper dive into European overseas territories and dependencies, could we talk about, and these, I guess these are trademark names, the Polar Bear Trust, the Napoleon Trust, the Penguin Trust, and the Airbase Trust.
Military Trust, actually. Yeah. Okay. So obviously, I sent those 4 names with the pictures, the cartoons, to somebody very much into trust business, very much so, okay? And I said, can you guess what these 4 countries are? And he got them wrong, which surprised me. So the Polar Bear Trust is the trust I was talking about, which is Svalbard. So it's a Svalbard trustee of a foreign trust. The Penguin Trust is obviously Falkland. There's 9 types of penguins there. Okay, I couldn't call the walrus, but there's more penguins there. The Napoleon Trust is obviously the trust with a trustee from St. Helena. Okay, Napoleon was exiled there 1815 until he died 6 years later. And then I call it the Military Trust. I have a picture of a tank and a jet, a fighter jet for the 2. So those are the 2 military bases, Decalia and Akrotiri. The one I focus on more than anyone is Akrotiri, simply because I've been there and I've hired a trustee and so on. And I'm going back there in 2 months' time to both places. And funny enough, I speak to editors of financial magazines who are intelligent, they are educated, they've been around the world, and I've told them I'm doing tax planning using Decalia and Akrotiri, and they said, what? What's that? I said, the military bases in Cyprus. He said, my God, I drove through those when I went to Cyprus, but I just thought it was an airport. He didn't realize it was a territory and there are people living there and you can tax plan and confidentiality. And I've always said, using these territories I've discussed, because nothing's registered, and then it's far superior for asset protection than registering everything on the Cook Islands, because the Cook Islands is just going to report everything. So, then you're going to have to rely on, are we going to win the fight? We've got a flee clause. Rather have a trust that is not registered anyway. Okay.
So it's completely invisible. Yeah.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Usually.
And
there are other territories, whether it's the Dubai or whether it's Kenya, we don't have publicly accessible trusts. Yes, but you still have the trust registered, whether it's with the trustee or locally, and there's no trust registered. So as Elon Musk says, not that I'm a fan of Elon Musk says, no part is better than any small part. So there's no part to your structure.
So in terms of those 4 in particular, how would you rank them in terms of, with your clients, the most popular to the least popular?
Well, the Norwegian one is the most popular, and it could be because that's the one that I've been pushing. And if I had to guess, and I've already got some, which surprised me, was the military bases. I thought it would be St. Helena, but it's a bit remote, whereas Akrotiri is an hour flight from continental Europe, and people, once you point it out, people sort of figure, oh yes, there are British overseas territories there. Just that nobody's gone into. I mean, I was speaking to the Economist, the magazine, and I was mentioning Akrotiri, and he said, but there's no law there regarding companies. I said, yeah, but you can be a trustee. And he clapped his head.
Okay, so number 1, Svalbard, number 2, Akrotiri.
And 3, St. Helena.
Right, and then the Penguin Trust. Do you have any takers for the Penguin Trust?
Falklands. I got to admit, I've got to do more research, but I'm actually going there and I'm having discussions with the government and the lawyers. So when I go into something, it's not like something I picked up on the internet. I mean, my discussions in St. Helena have been with the tax commissioner in writing, with the registrar, with the economic division. Whereas who else doing tax planning has gone to these places? Of course, I spend a lot of time with the trustee in Svalbard.
This is definitely off the beaten path. Okay.
Well, Svalbard is not that beaten, but we might be moving the trust to the other city, village on the island. There's more property available, and it's quite difficult to get to. In winter you got to take a 2-hour ski bike to get there, and you got to have a gun on your back for the polar bears.
Wow. Indiana Jones adventure. Okay.
Thank you very much again for sharing your incredible insight. What's the best way for someone to find you, to reach out to you, to get in contact?
My website, co-ownershiptrust.com, and then you'll find 850 articles.